Good morning, or afternoon, or evening, I guess, depending on when you happen to be watching this video. My name is Kieran Hanley. I'm the Executive Director of the Newfoundland and Labrador Environmental Industry Association, or NEIA. This is the first of what we think will be a series of presentations on our clean technology sector growth planning initiative. At this point, we're checking in after the completion of phase one of the project, and we want to tell you all about the work that we've done, and also to give you an opportunity to chime in with your ideas, questions, concerns, and so on. This is me at NEIA's annual New Leaf Green Economy Conference. It took place about a month ago in the middle of October. I was actually supposed to give this exact presentation at that event, but as does tend to happen at conferences, we were running overtime, and I was by far the most expendable speaker on the agenda, so we struck me from the list. With that said, the work that we're doing here on the development of this plan is going to influence how NEIA supports the growth of the clean technology and environmental services sector for many years to come. So it is really important for us to communicate what we're doing to a broad audience, as well as to give everyone an opportunity to contribute where they can. So hence, Plan B, the webinar, and we hope you enjoy. So in this presentation, we're going to talk a little bit about how and why this initiative began. We're going to talk about the work that we've done to date from May, I guess, until October. And we're going to talk about the next steps that we're going to take to conclude our work. Earlier in 2019, NEIA's board of directors began discussing the need for a clean tech specific sector growth plan for Newfoundland and Labrador. The feeling around the table was that the timing was right. The timing was right because a number of key industries in the province, in partnership with government, had developed sector growth plans in their own right, from agriculture to aquaculture to forestry, oil and gas, mining, technology, and so on. With this information in place, NEIA could pull from these documents where clean tech and environmental services could contribute to their success, as stated by the stakeholders themselves. In addition, a number of key processes had either just finished, were nearing completion, or were on the verge of starting. The province had published its Climate Change Action Plan. The Public Utilities Board was in the midst of looking at opportunities for electricity rate mitigation, ideas around electrification and conservation and demand management. The province had committed to the development of a renewable energy plan, and a review of the province's waste management strategy was undertaken as well. In addition to that, NEIA itself had done some preliminary work to categorize industry participants, quantify the strengths of its companies, and outline the relevant research and development assets in the province related to clean tech. The result was the Clean Technology and Environmental Services Directory, which was really a significant step forward in helping us all understand the sector and what its strengths were and what some possible gaps may be. With all of this information now at our fingertips, NEIA and its partners have thought that the time is opportune to strategically identify where it as a sector could enable the success within these industries with its own growth, and think about how it could maximize the growth of clean technology and the speed at which the green economy takes hold within the province. With an increasingly powerful focus internationally on things like climate change, sustainability, clean technology, and the environment across economies, across jurisdictions. It was clear to NEIA there are many, many things that the organization could be doing. But there's a danger there if we try to pursue all those opportunities that we spread ourselves too thin. So what should we be doing? Where should we be focusing our efforts in order to really maximize our impact? It's an important time to start asking ourselves questions. Questions like, within the sector, where's their clustered activity? Where's their momentum? What are we good at? Where's their opportunity, domestically and or internationally? What should we focus on? And how do we strategically pursue growth? So not just what do we focus on, but what actions do we take in order to enable success? And I say we in the context of all stakeholders in this clean tech and environmental services space, not just NEIA as an organization. And so with all of that said, in May of 2019, NEIA approached the provincial and federal governments. On the provincial side, the Department of Tourism, Culture, Industry and Innovation, and on the federal side, the Atlantic Canada Opportunities Agency, or COA, to partner in the development of a plan. Both, luckily, were very keen to participate and partner with us on this process. And in June of 2019, a steering committee was formed to navigate that process. We've been really busy since then, and the purpose of this presentation is to provide you with some information on the work that we've done to date and give you a sense of where we're going from here. Our first activity was to engage in a comprehensive literature review. We looked at over 20 documents relevant to the clean tech and environmental services sector in the Newfoundland and Labrador context. These documents included the way forward on agriculture, aquaculture, forestry, Events 2030 for oil and gas, Mining the Future for mining, the technology sector work plan, the Newfoundland and Labrador's climate change action plan, and a whole series of other really important documents. Throughout the process, we had a really high level of engagement with stakeholders, both public and private, across a wide variety of government departments, with like-minded organizations, with some key contacts in industry and within our own board, to make sure that we were reviewing all of the most relevant information. Part two of this situational analysis was to look at the innovation and support ecosystem. We wanted to get a really good grasp on what supports were out there and available to clean tech firms and environmental services firms in Newfoundland and Labrador. We identified over 150 of them and categorized them in a couple of different ways. First, who they were directed towards, so whether that be startups, more mature companies, what kinds of supports they offered, whether that be in the research and development phase or the acquisition and adoption of existing technology, and how those supports were provided. So were they limited time supports? Were they competitive in nature? Or were they open and continuous calls? We also wanted to get a sense of the supports that existed in other parts of the country so that we could really understand what was available to a Newfoundland and Labrador firm versus one in another jurisdiction of the country. We focused on some of the leading clean tech areas and those with economies in similar makeup to our own. To clue up our situational analysis, in part three, we looked at growth strategies and supporting policies for clean tech and environmental services firms. So we looked across the country at what the best practices would be from some of those leading jurisdictions in terms of the supports that were put in place or the regulatory or policy frameworks that were developed to incite, stimulate, and facilitate clean growth. At the end of the day, with all the information that we put together, we want to make sure that when we get to the development of the strategy itself, it's not just a shot in the dark. It's based on actions that have been implemented in practice, which have shown to be successful. All of this work, parts 1, 2, and 3, the entire situational analysis was completed by the end of October. And at the end of this presentation, there'll be a link where you can look through all this material yourself. I did want to reiterate that at each step along the way, we have been and will continue to be checking in with key stakeholders to validate the things that we are finding and also to inform and provide insight in the decisions that are yet to come. And that's the reasoning behind this webinar, is to really make sure that that opportunity is as open as possibly can be. So with the situational analysis now complete, the next step is to mine that data, analyze it, and establish some priorities for the sector. Then we'll take those priorities and compare them against the support ecosystem to see where there may be gaps in support or where there may actually be robust and complementary supports that can foster accelerated growth. And then taking all of that information and developing an action-oriented strategy for the growth of the clean technology and environmental services sector for Newfoundland and Labrador. So to summarize what we've accomplished so far in this initiative, we've conducted an extensive review of literature relevant to the clean technology and environmental services sector in the province. We've mapped out the innovation and support ecosystem that will be there to foster that growth. And we've looked at best practices across the country in terms of growth strategies and supporting policies. The research done in parts 2 and 3 will become increasingly important as we use the literature review to establish what our priorities could or should be. And that's where we need your help. We have all this data compiled from a wide variety of different sources, but we need help turning that into actual information that we can use to build our strategy. Essentially what we have at this stage is a list of clean technology opportunities as they pertain to certain subject matters or certain industries from all the ones we've listed before, to this point: renewable energy, aquaculture, rate mitigation, and so on. But these are just lists. What needs to be done, these lists need to be prioritized in terms of what are the most opportune areas for each industry in terms of research and development, in terms of business development, in terms of supply chain diversification. And then what are the commonalities across industries? And that's where things can really get interesting. So we'd really encourage you to go to the website where all of the information that we've compiled to date is housed, NEIA.org/sector growth. On that site, you can look for yourself to answer some of those questions, and we'd be really interested in any insights that you could offer to us in the process that we're taking. So that's it. That's our progress to date, giving you a sense of what we've done, where we are now, and where we plan to go. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, anything at all, don't hesitate to contact me. These are my coordinates. I should mention that beyond these general communications and some targeted stakeholder discussions, we will also be reaching out to NEIA members individually on a one-on-one basis to ensure that everyone has an opportunity to contribute to the process. So if you're a NEIA member and you're watching this, you will be hearing from me soon, if not already. And I did want to say that the support that we've received in this process from the province and from the federal government has been extraordinary. We're very thankful for their support and their interest in this process, and it's our collective hope to have it all wrapped up early in the new year. That's an aggressive timeline, to be sure, but we certainly think it's doable based on the effectiveness of the work so far. If you've made it this far into the presentation, congratulations. That's pretty impressive. You're obviously interested enough in this topic to tune in to the next webinar, which should only be a couple of weeks away. This phase 1 summary included work from May until basically October, and we'll soon be in a place to report on phase 2, the work that we've done November into December. So until then, thank you for your time, thank you for your interest, and please reach out if you have any comments to make. Thanks.